Welcome this week, heroes. Welcome to the Storied Coaching Podcast. This week, I'm fired up to talk to you about something because it is something that I've had to deal with, and it's something that I have coaching clients that are dealing with this, and it's kind of universal. People deal with this all the time, but it's been framed in a new way, in a different sort of experience that I wanted to go ahead and put that lens over it today. Aaron, what are you talking about? I'm talking about this whole concept of quiet quitting. And if you're watching the YouTube version of this right now, I just used huge air quotes on that because I don't believe in the corporate sense, quiet quitting, when people are seen to be doing less than and they are told they are quiet quitting employees because of the fact that they're just doing their job well and not doing other things for free or putting in extra hours or answering their boss's phone calls and texts and Teams requests and things like that after 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. when they're supposed to be working if they're salaried is complete bullshit. It doesn't exist. People getting free labor and not paying for it is not quitting. There's no such thing as quiet quitting. If you're not doing your job description, if you're not fulfilling your obligations in order to get the result that your job you were hired for was supposed to get, that's a different conversation. That's just someone not doing their job. But this whole quiet quitting thing of like, people just used to be able to take care of or take advantage of our interns more. Like we had unpaid interns and we had, these people that like we told them their job description is this, but really it was like twice that. And we just kind of browbeat them into working all these extra hours and not getting paid for it. That, not okay. Quiet quitting in that sense doesn't exist. Some of you that are nodding your head right now, yeah, exactly. That's not something that ever existed. And it was something that I really didn't like that they were trying to brand and say was a thing. I am not talking about that today, although you can tell I get a little bit fired up about that subject. If you're doing work and not getting paid for it, there's a problem and it needs to be addressed. And if they don't want to address it and you want to quit, more power to you. Find a better job. But what I'm talking about right now is for the entrepreneurs, especially that are trying to get a specific result for their business. They have a money goal that they set for the year or for the quarter or for the first half of the year. They have a certain number of courses. They designed their course and they wanted to sell it. And they were going to sell 25 of these each quarter. And they've only sold 2 so far. Quitting on yourself in that respect is something I want to talk about. Because when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business leader, you have these big goals, and then you have a lot of times, either if you're a solopreneur, you're working on it yourself, maybe working with a few freelance people in order to pull it off, or you might be in a corporate sense, a leader, a manager, a GM, a VP, an executive, someone that is leading other teams. You said, hey, this is our North Star. This is the result. These are the sales. This is the thing that we want to launch this year. Now, quitting starts to come in when the first or second or even third thing you tried didn't work. And so you're kind of like, well, I guess it's not going to happen. Well, I guess we tried. Gosh, we tried 3 times. Some people only try once. They thought that like this was the way we're going to get it done. We're going to sell it this way. We're going to position it this way. The marketing says that this is the way that we're going to pitch it to customers. And it doesn't work. It doesn't mean that you quit on the result that you want. To sell X number of those courses, to sell this much of whatever product or service that you sell, to start that new business or that new training program. It doesn't mean that you quit on your goal, on the result. But I do want you to consider that sometimes it's okay to quit on that specific method that you were using as a vehicle to get to that result. That's the only time that I would say it might be worth examining, am I in the right car to get to my destination, to get to my result? Maybe I shouldn't be in a car. Maybe I should try a bike. Maybe I should try a skateboard. Maybe I should fly in a jetpack. You just need a different approach. What I want you to do is to separate out quitting on yourself, which is, I'm just not good enough, and that's why I'm not hitting my goal. It's because I'm too lazy. It's because I'm not good enough. I don't have a business degree. I don't have a marketing degree. My parents or my friends or my colleagues were right. I'm not good at this. That's quitting on yourself. That is something that I really want you to examine if you're starting to have thought patterns along that way and start to tell yourself that story and you notice these thoughts in your brain, because these thoughts build on each other and build up what your story is, what your reality is right now. And if that is on a loop playing in your head all the time, it becomes your reality, becomes your story, that you aren't good enough, that you weren't meant to be able to reach that result or that goal, when nothing could be further from the truth. The people that succeed are the ones that don't quit on themselves. They quit on that specific approach to getting the result that they said they wanted. The result, the goal stays the same for you, whatever it is. You just need to try a different approach in order to get there. And it's completely okay that the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, on and on and on, the different approaches, the different vehicles you chose to get there don't work. There's nothing wrong with you. You just haven't found the right vehicle yet, the right way, the right path, the right road to get to your result. Maybe you need to learn a little bit more about different kind of marketing in order to get more leads. Maybe you need to hone your sales script a little bit, so when you're talking with people, you do it in a different way that closes more often. Go ahead and start looking at quitting on different approaches or tailoring them to get to where you want to go, but don't quit on yourself. There's nothing innately wrong with you or your goal. You just need to look at the approach at the vehicle in order to get there. So again, don't quit on yourself, quit on the approach. That's absolutely fine to look at a different way to do it. Now, something that's really been helping me lately, whenever I might start to feel this way, because I'm constantly creating new content, creating new podcasts, creating new offerings for our clients on our marketing and video side of the business, and also on our coaching and training side of the business. And while I'm creating these things, that is the result. I have a new course or something that's coming out, or a new way we're going to work with clients, or a new video offering or something like that. That's the results I'm going to get them. Now, the story that they need to hear in order to know that that's valuable for them, that they should want to purchase that, that's probably going to change lots of different times until I find the one that they seem to be able to receive and understand and see how valuable that service or that product that I have created for them is. And it's not their fault or my fault that we don't quite get it right those first couple times. I need to find out where they're at and how they need to hear it in order for them to be able to feel comfortable to buy and to dedicate those hard-earned resources towards my product or service. There's nothing wrong with me. I just need to make sure that my story is dialed in and told the right way so that they can receive it. You might have something that you're working on in your business that's very similar, a service or a product or something that you want to do, a goal you want to reach, and you thought that this was for sure the way to do it, to message it, to go ahead and move it forward with your teams because that worked in the past. It worked really well. And maybe it won't work well this time. Maybe you're finding it's just not getting as much traction. People aren't hearing it. It's just not as compelling as it's been in the past. That's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with you or your team. The message, the story might need to evolve and change. So don't quit on yourself and your results and your goal, but look at a different vehicle. Quit on that vehicle that's not getting the result that you want. Something that's really been helping me, like I said lately, is really embracing a thought, a story that I've been putting on a loop in my head, which is, this is where other people would quit. I'm finding this very useful because it's kind of like, it feels like a secret code that I have. It's like, oh, you know what? This is really hard right now. I'm acknowledging the fact that this thing I've been working on and really want to work isn't quite working yet. And that feels hard. And that feels disappointing right now. And other people that have made cool things in the past, this is where they might have quit. Or maybe a couple days later when something else came up or something else came up. this is where they'd be like, well, I tried, and they'd quit. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. So here's a problem. How do I solve it? What do I need to do in order to move forward? Quit on the vehicle, not on the result. So what I want you to do is practice saying that in your own head. Have that on a loop in your head. When something comes up during your day that it seems like, where you start to think those thoughts of, see, they were right, whoever they is, or maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I'm never going to get to that goal or to that result or that new version of myself that I want. I want you to steal this thought. This is where other people would quit. And then think of one or two things that you could do. It might be super small, that you could try a different way in order to keep having forward momentum, a half step in some direction to keep going. Maybe not in the same direction, but towards another approach towards the goal and the result that you want. That way you're not quiet quitting on yourself. It's the last thing that I want you to do. You've chosen a goal, you've chosen a new version of yourself that you want to move towards. Don't quit on it. It has nothing to do with the goal or the result, everything to do with maybe just picking a different vehicle to get into in order to get there. All right, my friends, I will talk to you next week. Until then, no quitting on yourself, because this is where other people would quit, and you are anything but other people. Have a great week.